It's Thursday evening. It's a dark one. It's 6:21 p.m. It is Taxi Vlog 331. We're halfway through November. It is the 13th tonight. So, halfway through November already. Before you know it, it'll be January. It's been an interesting week so far. I came out on Monday, and it didn't start off busy the first hour or two. I had a couple of fares having to do with veterans going to the Legion Hall and things like that. And then as the night progressed, after we had dealt with the old veterans that went to the Legion Hall, we had a lot of kids partying because, of course, the Tuesday was going to be Remembrance Day. I think in the United States they call it Veterans Day. Anyway, it's the same idea except it has a different name. Basically, you know, honor and remember the dead who fought in wars and died. Oh, what's going on here? There's an ambulance. No, it's a fire truck. Fire truck on the side of the road. Probably nothing much. I don't see any fire anywhere. There's just a bunch of blinking lights. So anyway, later on in the evening, it got really busy with kids. And by kids, I mean those in the under 25 age group. They went out to Lucky Bar and I think had a record-breaking lineup in front of that place. They have a tradition. Mondays is 90s night. Wasn't that just yesterday? Anyway, Mondays are 90s nighs. And because the kids don't have to go to school the following day, they all lined up to be in this place. So they line up for 2 hours to be in the place for 15 minutes, and then it's last call, and that's the end, and everybody gets kicked out. I don't wait in line in front of places like that. That's not my thing. I like to do residential calls and let all the other drivers go for the lineups in front of the bars downtown. Yeah. So the night went phenomenally well. I made in excess of $200 for myself. On a Monday, that is just tremendous. It gave my week a good start, and so it started well. I had no problems with any. Oh, well, there was the odd, you know, 1 or 2 carloads of loud kids who wanted to play the radio, and you know, of course, they were drinking a little much, so they were talking a little too loud. There was one fare that really pissed me off, but that's okay. I guess it could be excused as being only one fare in a very busy night. I did not get much reading done that night. But the Tuesday, the pace was a little more easygoing, but I got some damn good fares in there. I got some longer trips, and I just cleaned up on Tuesday as well. Maybe not as good as on Monday, but I did well on Tuesday, I think, because a lot of drivers took the night off. It was a holiday after all, so there were not too many of us out here. Yeah, Monday and Tuesday, solid. Very good nights. My week was off to a good start. Then there came last night. I came out last night. It was Wednesday, and it took a little while till I got my first fare, maybe half an hour. And then I had another trip, you know, just pretty soon after that. And then the waiting began. There were 7 or 8 of us in my zone, and I like it to be 2 or 3, which is what happens after midnight, but this was at 8 o'clock. and I think I waited an hour and a half for my next fare, and I watched all the YouTube videos that were in my list of videos that I hadn't watched yet that were posted on that day. So I watched those, and then I had another trip, and it wasn't a very long one. I was hurting pretty bad. I think I had $60 on at midnight, and I had another $20 fare to make it $80. So just after midnight I had, well, not quite my lease on. Lease was $95. And I sat and I read from the book I was reading. I have finished it now. I started another one about a week ago at my bedside at home. It is this one here, Ringworld's Children by Larry Niven. Yet another book in the series of Ringworld books. This one was published almost 10 years ago, and I finally got around to reading it. You know, our bookstores don't always stock everything that comes out, so I get to miss a few things. And I pick up what I can, but you know, for a while there, I guess I wasn't buying so many books, and so I missed a few. But this one ended up on the shelf a couple of years ago, and so I picked it up, and now it's gone through my, excuse me, that was dinner. I think it was like a big soft shell taco with barbecue chicken in it. It was yummy. Cindy did good again. But that's for the Food Quick channel, I suppose, if I was to have made a video out of it. Yeah. And it was nothing going on. At about 12:15, I sat in the parking lot. I read some more from the book. And after about an hour, my eyelids got very heavy. And I said, oh well, time for a nap. At around 3 o'clock, I got another fare, which fortunately was long enough to get my lease on. And I went back into the parking lot and read some more. And I had my lease on. I went and got a coffee at the Tim Hortons in Gordon Head. Now, oh, there goes that fire truck again. Tim Hortons in Gordon Head was so dead, they had no customers. You could hear two people speaking Filipino in the back, in the bakery section, and in the front there was nobody manning the till. But I walked into the kitchen and I said, do you guys have coffee on? And, you know, they charged me for a medium but gave me a large, which kind of helped. And I was the only car in the zone, and there were 3 cars in my zone, so I stayed in that zone for almost an hour reading some more. But, you know, I did not feel good about it. I did not feel good about being in that other zone. So when my zone emptied out, I went back here to my zone and ended up 3rd in the zone. See, all of our information is about 5 minutes old by the time we get it, so it's useless. Back when we had radio, voice radio, on this thing, microphone, everything was immediate, and all the information was up to the instant. Now, the information is 5 minutes old, so you can't really use it to play the game in the same way as you did before. Instead of chasing trips, you end up waiting for them. Anyway, I was 3rd in the zone, so I thought, okay, I'll sit tight and I'll wait my turn. So my turn came up at almost 5 o'clock. I had another fare. And that fare got me to the point where I had my lease and fuel and maybe $10 in my pocket paid up. And 1 hour left to go. I thought, oh well, what the hell. I was first in zone again. I went back to my little spot and I sat under the bright light and I read some of this book, the Larry Niven Ringworld's Children. Yeah. And I was reading from it and enjoying it very much. And then I got another call to an apartment building in Zone 62. Now, apartment buildings in Zone 62 are not usually such a big stinking hot deal. But at 5:24 in the morning, there is a policeman stopping somebody in the zone in which I'm traveling. I will turn out the light so as not to attract any suspicion. And I will get past the policeman who has stopped the van for whatever reason that might be. And now I'm back in the right lane. So, yeah, lights on. I get to the guy, and he's got one of those, you know, wheeling luggage and a backpack and a briefcase. Sure enough, he's going to the airport for another $56 after paying me. Oh, pedestrians want to go the other way. Let them go the other way. Fine. It was $49 on the meter, and that's right, cut me off. Don't bother to look to see if anyone's coming down the road. Oh, people in this town are so retarded. They drive like they got an IQ of 22. So, I concluded my night, taking home about $60. And I had some left over from Interac. I think I'm about 60 over already on the Interac from the Monday and Tuesday. And the Wednesday didn't cut down on the Interac. In fact, it added more because the whole ride to the airport was on a credit card, which goes the same place as Interac. So I'm over on my leases already. I've got some money on, even though last night wasn't that good. Monday and Tuesday were so wonderful that I still have had a good week so far. I am 6th in the zone. Let's do an update. Let's hope this is not another stinker Thursday. I'm 4th now. So what was I, 6th or 7th when I started? Now I'm 4th. And it is 6:34 p.m. And I will let you know about tonight and tomorrow night later on. Talk to you sooner. Okay, so here it is, 4:13 a.m. on Friday morning. Oh, what a ride. I had my first call after about half an hour. It was about $10. I had my second call about an hour after that, was another $10. And I cleared from my third call just around 10 o'clock. Actually, it was after 10 o'clock. I watched some YouTube videos, I did some reading, but I also did a fair amount of sleeping. I think the first time I went to sleep was around 8 o'clock. Let's go through these stupid, ridiculous bullshit roundabouts here. I try and straighten them out as much as I can. So here I am driving over painted lines. And we hit the apex there at the bus stop, and then we're coming out. Yeah, what a ride. After 10 o'clock I started connecting and started doing good. And there's a semi. Okay. So I think at just after 10, I had only $30 on. And it was kind of discouraging, you know, when you've been out here for 4 hours and all you got on is $30 with a $110 lease on the car. But somehow I made it. By 1 o'clock, I had my lease, and at 2 I had another call, and that got me my fuel. And then I had 2 or 3 fares after that, which got me to the point where I was starting to make some money. And I was so happy that I was making money rather than, you know, owing money. And then I had a 3:45 time call. At 3:35 I received this call to go pick these people up, and they're going to Hawaii. So I took them to the airport, which is where I'm driving back from right now, with an hour and 45 minutes left of my shift. So I know I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay, and if I do 2 or 3 more fares, I will just be ecstatic over tonight. I'll be very pleased. But it's going okay now, and it's cold out there. It says it's -1. -1. That's about like 30 degrees Fahrenheit. And I thought, you know, with the cold that people wouldn't want to walk anywhere and they would call cabs more. But for some reason, before 10 o'clock, it was totally dead. So yeah, I can't really complain about tonight. Not now, anyway. I did read about 20 or 30 pages from the book, but I don't. I'd read a few pages and then I would read the same paragraph over and over again. So it wasn't a big reading night. It was a good catching up on my sleep night and actually making a bit of money night. So much for the Thursday. I'll talk about tomorrow, either at home or in the car, depending. And then that will be my week. Yeah, so all in all, the week was pretty good. I just got home now in the morning. I haven't had anything to eat yet. I just got off work and got straight home. I'll let you know right now how the Friday night went. But first, I gotta have a sip of water. And I gotta pour me some rye whiskey. It's a Sazerac rye from the makers of Buffalo Trace. That's quite good. It's bottled at 45% alcohol by volume, and it's quite nice, tasty. Wet my whistle before I start talking about anything. Ooh. That is a packet of flavor, that is. Well, here we go. Friday night started pretty good. In the first couple hours, I made $80. And I thought, oh, this is going to be all right. Then I ended up sitting 8th in the zone, and there were 7 cars ahead of me, and like nobody was getting any calls for a while there. And at one point I got a call, and it wasn't a very long one. It didn't make a lot of money. Was that a rabbit? Did you see a rabbit? I'm sorry, I'm distracted. Well, maybe that was a rabbit, maybe it wasn't. Okay, so then there was another point in time where I got sent to a bar with the phone number for the person, and I called the number. She didn't answer. I was there 2 minutes after the call went out. And I called her again, and nobody showed up. But I figured, oh, well, the comedy show is going to be over. It's like a comedy bar thing. So I waited, and somebody did come out eventually. And they wanted to go a good distance, so it was worth it. And that got me into the area of Gordon Head. And then I had a couple of short fares up there, and then I got sent to the university. And at the university, there was this, it was a bunny. That was a bunny. I think. You're both over there now. All right. Got sent to the university for Laura. And I got there, and there were these two young people walking towards the cab, and this guy gets in the back right behind me. And I say, well, what's your name? He says something like Trevor. I say, I'm sorry, Trev, but Laura is the one who called the cab, and that's her standing right out there. So Laura got in, and the guy got in, and she asked him, where are you going to? And he said, Hillside Mall. And she said, okay, I can take you there. He says, you sure? And she asked, is that on the way to View Royal? I say, well, not really, no, it's kind of a detour. Anyway, we get to the Hillside Mall. He pays some of it and gives her a nice long kiss and good night and goodbye. Then I took her to View Royal for like the grand total of almost $30. And then I got sent to the 800 block of Admirals. And from the 800 block of Admirals, this guy wanted to go to San Ardo, which is like another $28 or $29 fare. So those two right there was like getting an airport run from the south of Oak Bay. Anyways, I dropped him off, and then I came back in and did a few more little short fares, and after 3 o'clock it was pretty well done. I was getting one trip an hour, and between 3 and 4 I went to sleep. And at 4 o'clock I was feeling like, well, you know, I don't really want to work anymore. And I got a short fare, and I thought, okay, this is it. I sat in the parking lot and added up all my charges and interacts from the week, and it worked out to just pay the lease. It just paid the lease. And so then I went to the bank, and I deposited some money that I had made tonight. Then I went to our office, and I was a block away from our office to drop off my lease, and I got a call. Well, I figured, I'm just a block from the office. I will drop my lease off first and then do the call. I got to the address, and I phoned the number. The guy on the phone said, yeah, we'll be right out. And some girl came out. She had pigtails, and she was wearing like a, I don't know, it's kind of a sports, more of a hiking kind of clothes, you know. And she was smoking a cigarette, and she had piercings with things coming out of the bottom lips and things coming out of her top lips, and it's like, okay. I rolled down my window and she asked me if I had a CD player, and I said, I think there's one in here. So she says, I'll go get them. And she went back to get them. And while she did this, I turned around, and then these two men came out, younger men. The girl with the piercings and the pigtails went in the back seat behind me, and another guy got in the back, and a guy got in the front. And why is it? I don't know, but it's always the most annoying person who has to sit next to the driver. This guy, first of all, he was giving me the address where to go to, and he called me son. Now, I'm old enough to be his dad, but he's calling me son. And then, before we got to the end of the block, he's calling me dog. I'm thinking, oh shit, oh no. And then the girl says, put the CD on. I'm going, okay, I'm busy driving, so the guy sitting next to me, put the CD on. And she says, track 4, track 4, track 4. So they put the track 4 on, and track 4 is this Irish stomping music, I guess. It's stomping, stomping, stomping. And of course, I'm tired. I was about to go home. I had already said to myself I'd had enough, but you know, I'd sneak one more in. And then the kid in the front was talking all about respect this, respect that. Meanwhile, while she's playing her Irish stomp music, which I put on the speakers in the back, because I don't like anything in the front while I'm driving cab. I want all the noise back there, not up here. And he's got a phone, and he's playing some rap music on the phone while her Irish stomp is in the back. And all three of them are trying to talk above all of this noise. And I keep turning the volume down just a little bit. It's too much, the Irish stomp. And then she's complaining because he's playing the rap music while she's listening to her Irish stomp. And it's like, you know, I felt like saying, I don't share taste in music with any of you. Can we just shut all this crap off? Anyway, it got to the point where we ended up going to the address, and the kid says, I'll give you $25 right now, and I'll come right back out. We're coming back out, and then he says, you know, you can make a lot more money with your meter. If you go faster, you can make wicked tips. And I said, you know what? No matter how fast I go, I can do 50 or 150. It's going to be the same amount by the time we get there, providing we don't stop. You don't have to freak out on me. No, I wasn't freaking out. I just raised my voice a little bit to emphasize a point. I was not freaking out on you. Anyway, the whole cultural and generational thing is it bothers me. It really bothers me because they talk about respect, all these kids, and all you got is son and dog and homie and whatever else they come up with. I'm not your son. I'm not your dog. I'm not your bro. I'm not your homie. I'm the driver. And you talk of respect, all you're showing me is disrespect. End of rant right about here. Anyway, I got $25 for taking them to one place, and then downtown to a bank. And then I decided to make my way home. I had just enough time to fuel up and bring the car back, and there was the day driver coming out from the driveway to get the cab. I didn't even shut it off. I left it going. And so I got back in my car and I drove straight home because I'd already deposited the lease and I'd made a deposit to the bank. And that was that. I had one other annoying customer at one time. It was a young girl who had had too much to drink. And, sounds like somebody fell on the floor upstairs. Sounds like somebody fell out of bed. Oh, that couldn't have felt good. I hope yours is better than mine.